same team as we do, so it's nothing there like that. But like I just think he's cute and funny, um, and honest. Seems like that tis also a lost art these days. Hey boss, hey Facebook, hey YouTube. We finna talk about length retention. Y'all don't have nobody y'all like watching. We finna talk about some length retention goals and how we can do this in just some easy steps and get y'all on out of here. So y'all have this information to implement. Did you get your guide, Bianca, Cody? Hey Cappy, did you get your guide? No, yes, yes, no. What is this? Did you get your guide? So text Cody. Excuse me. Well, do you need one? We did this guide in particular is on a wash day schedule for winter. How to implement moisture, how to implement protein, excuse me, weave protein into your wash day schedule. Um, how to weave protein into your wash day schedule in the winter time specifically. Hey boss, I don't know how to get. Uh, oh, that's why. Hey Monique. Yes, you want it, or yes, oh no, you don't have it, right? But yes, you want it. Okay, so if you're interested in how you, because we're going to be talking about balance today, right? Of course, how on brand of me. We're going to be talking about balance today. And because balance is going to be essential to your length retention goals, you might want to get this guide. So we're going to go through a couple of things. We're going to get through some household items real quick. I'm going to get through some of my spiel, and then I'm going to offer you guys an opportunity to get the guide. It's completely free, right? It breaks down if you have fine hair, what kind of wash day schedule, what your wash day schedule could look like, including protein. If you have medium hair, if you have coarse hair, what your wash day schedule could look like, including protein. Okay. Before I give you the free guide, though, a couple of times throughout this live, I am going to ask that you do what Cody did, right? Cody was like, "Oh, he's on. My show is on. Let me tap my homegirl in." You know what I'm saying? Got Bianca up in here, got her homegirl up in here. That's what I'm going to ask you to do at some point, okay? You're going to get the guide for free just for showing up. My ask in return for the free guide that helps you implement ways to retain length in exchange. I'm just going to ask you to share this live. We cool? We could do that? Y'all don't got to compete today. We cool? We ready? 3 easy steps. Are we ready? Yes, no, maybe so. Ready in the comments if we're ready. Ready in the comments if we're ready. Hey, boss. Hey, Miss 517. Ready in the comments if we're ready. Thank you, Monique. All right, Miss Zero 517. You ready? IG, y'all not ready. We don't have to do this today. We're ready, Cody? All right, boss. All right. Consistency. Okay. Let me ask this first, right? Tell me why length retention is important to you. For some women, it means more options for hairstyles. For some women, it really means a pat on the back because we've accomplished something, especially what the world keeps telling us is nearly impossible for women that look like you and I, right? So a variation of styles it opens you up to. A boost of confidence, right? That you've accomplished something. A boost of confidence just because you feel like you look better with longer hair. Tell me why length retention is important to you, though. I want to understand. I want to understand this so that while we talk about this today, Okay, Miss Room Ritual. While we talk about this today, we can make sure that we're aligned with why you want to retain more length. Mo, tell me why length retention is important to you. Miss Room Ritual, you got your water? Cody says it looks better and it looks fuller. We love that. You know, we're not all of us love an oxtail ponytail around here. You know what I mean? Thin and slim, bald head, small head. Not all of us love it. But when it looks better and it feels fuller, right? There's a boost of confidence that attaches itself to that. Good. I'm glad you got your water, Mr. Ritual. But to be able to pull off feeling better because your hair looks better and it looks fuller can be important, again, to your confidence, right? I can wear multiple hairstyles without weave. Yes. Bianca, extensions should 100%, not just Bianca, in general, for all of us, right? Extensions should be an option, but not feel like it's a necessity, right? So oftentimes, the longer, the fuller, the healthier your hair is, the more confident you are to wear your natural hair without any add-ons, right? And that's also healthier for you. Love a high pony and a bun, and you need length and fullness for a good high ponytail and a bun. This Room Ritual, all right? So I've been a hairstylist for almost 2 decades now. And one of the things that I'm able to pride myself in is helping women go from, I feel like my hair is terrible. My hair sucks. It never does what I want it to do. It doesn't listen to me. To, damn, we did that. And sometimes I'm able to do that with a client in under a year. Sometimes it takes about a year, and sometimes it takes significantly more than a year, right? But I'm going to tell you some ways that are tried and true to getting you much closer to your length retention goals. Okay. Hey, boss. So if you're looking to retain more length, I broke it down into an acronym, right? You need CBD. Who knows what that could stand for? In order for you to retain length and do so consistently, you need CBD. And you know what, Mo? Mo says, I've always had a good length of hair, and now I have a daughter with lots of hair. I want to offer a healthy relationship with her as a role model to her, 100%. We're going to talk about some of the, hey, Natalie. Natalie, did you get your guide the other day? You did, right? We're going to talk about some length retention tips today. Who knows what CBD stands for? Could stand for? When it's related to hair, who knows what the acronym CBD could stand for? I don't know. It's a totally acceptable answer around here. Just please don't let me talk to myself. Cut, broken, damage. That's one guess. Mo, I'm sorry, Mo. Cody, Natalie, what do we think CBD stands for when it's related to hair and length retention in particular? Ms. J. Smith, when we're talking about hair length retention in particular, what does CBD stand? What do you think CBD could stand for? Mr. Ritual, you're trying not to see, but condition and density. CBD stands for consistency, balance, and diet. Your length retention goals are going to come down to consistency, balance, and your diet. Okay? Here's how consistency plays a role. When you are always, and I mean never taking a break, when you are always doing braids or twists, do you think that is beneficial to your hair goals? And by always, I mean like 2 years straight, 4 years straight, 6 years straight. You're consistently in protective styles. Is that kind of consistency going to be conducive to your to your length retention goals? No, ma'am. No, Rochelle. Rochelle! What's up, girl? I know that's right. We love a confidence boost. If you are looking to create an environment for your hair to want to flourish, if you are looking to create an environment for your hair to want to grow consistently, quickly, if you want to encourage growth, you have to be consistent with your trim schedules. You have to be consistently mindful of how you're styling your hair. 100%. You want to consistently be getting better at doing better with your hair. You want to consistently be getting better at perfecting styles, right? You should have 2 to 3 at minimum. You should have 2 to 3 go-to hairstyles that you're able to execute on your own, tried and true. Mo's could be 2-strand twists, Bantu knots, and a flexi rod set, right? Switching the style up, right? Switching the style up, doing so consistently, not constantly, but doing so consistently, allowing it to be easy for your hair to predict what's going to happen next, right? That kind of consistency makes room for your hair to want to stay whole from root to tip. Okay? That kind of consistency in making sure that you are aware of what you're doing with your hair, right? So what is this? This is the beginning of February. For many of us, we're not, when we're thinking about hair, it's usually at the last minute, right? And we fall back into a ponytail because we have not properly planned. If you are consistently working on doing better with your hair, if you are consistently working on creating an environment for your hair to flourish, you also want to be making sure, outside of like not resting on the same style day in and day out, year in and year out, you want to also make sure that you are consistently planning ahead, right? Because again, so many times we've seen the boss ladies fall back into, I don't even know what to do with my hair. Let me just slap it in a ponytail. Lathering on gel, drying your hair out, taking the ponytail out, putting the ponytail in, taking the ponytail out, putting the ponytail in. If you're consistently thinking ahead about your hair, then you should be able to plan your hairstyles 2 to 3 months in advance. Sit with your stylist, create a plan for what your hairstyle should look like 2 to 3 months in advance, right? Create a plan for how you get better at your 2 to 3 go-to hairstyles. Create a plan for how you stay consistent with your trim schedule. Now, remember, I told you guys a couple of days ago, consistently doesn't mean constantly, right? Consistent creates a rhythm. Constant means that there's a rapid repetition to it. Do you think consistent wash and goes is bad? I think that constant wash and goes are bad. I think that if you are constantly doing wash and goes, that's bad. Can anybody tell me why constantly doing a wash and go is bad? And I'm glad you mentioned that, Rochelle. Rochelle, sometimes I feel like you got access to this iPhone I got over here, because that's in the note. That's in the note. Ask audience, is it bad to be constantly to exclusively be doing wash and goes? Because it tangles, fairy knots, creates split ends. Yes. Yes to all of that. If it's constantly tangling, right? If your hair is constantly tangling from your wash and goes, what happens then? It can also dry your hair out. 100%, Bianca. What up, Ash? If your hair is constantly tangling, what is that going to 100%? And what does breakage lead to? What does breakage lead to? Ms. J. Smith says that constant tangling is going to lead to breakage, comb out breakage, because the hair is vulnerable when it's wet. Most vulnerable. Not just that, though. Not just that, Cody. Yes, you are 100% correct, but not just that. Because you can dry, you don't have to let your wash and go air dry all the way. You can dry with the diffuser, you can dry your wash and go. But a dry wash and go, right? Even if we're not manipulating it a ton when it's wet, the fairy knots is a problem, and that constant tangling, because hair spirals, right? You're individual and don't have the nerve to also have fine hair. Okay, them wash and goes, especially with fine hair, because our hair coils, right, and curls, it's gonna wrap around itself, causing fairy knots. It's gonna wrap around the other hairs, causing tangles. But tell me what tangling leads to. Yes, breakage, but ultimately what? Breakage, which is why now for winter I'm doing the straight natural thing. I used to do wash and goes only, but the breakage I usually dry with diffuser. So listen to Rochelle. Even with drying with a diffuser, she's been experiencing breakage, which is why she's been in on these classes, right, Rochelle? We've been in on these classes trying to learn how to be a straight hair natural because she want to do something a little bit different. 100%. Okay. The tangles are going to lead to split ends, and the split ends is going to lead to a hefty cut, right? A trim does not cause a drastic change to your hair. A haircut creates a drastic change for your hair. Trims do not create drastic change for your hair. A haircut creates drastic change for your hair. When you are consistently doing wash and goes, which leads to tangles, which leads to breakage, ultimately what that's going to lead to is a haircut, to you having to create a drastic change for your hair. If the ultimate goal here is length retention, then wash and goes is one of the styles that you want to have in your rotation, but you cannot be constantly doing this style. Which is why you need to consistently get better at your three go-to hairstyles. Does that track? Are we all on the same page about that? About why consistency matters in terms of switching the style up? Sure. So constant looks like this, right? Constant looks like every week we're doing a wash and go. Consistent looks like every 3 months, every summer, every spring, we're doing wash and goes. Consistent creates a rhythm. Constant is rapid repetition, excuse me. Mo was asking me to clarify my point of view between the difference between constant and consistent. If you are constantly cutting your hair, then that's rapid repetition. That's the every 8 weeks. Consistent looks like I am 100% trimming my hair every time she starts to tangle a little too much. That's consistent. We're on a consistent schedule. It's rhythmic. Having a seasonal style is consistent. Having a seasonal trim is consistent. Sitting down to deep condition every 6 weeks is consistent. Sitting down to deep condition every week is constant. I'm constantly deep conditioning. I'm consistent with my deep conditioning schedule. Looks like I do it every 6 weeks. I do it every 8 weeks. Not that rapid fire repetition. Okay. Sticking to consistently working on being better at your 3 go-to hairstyles Being consistent with making sure that you change, alter what styles you want to lean into is going to be way more helpful than always doing braids, than always doing wash and goes, even always doing silk presses. How many times, if you purchase the silk press series, or even if you set in the silk press series, if you purchased or set in the silk press series this past January, right? How many times do I allot my clients to do a silk press and then they have to give their hair a break? How many times in a row can they do a silk press before they have to give their hair a break? The three styles are seasonal. The three styles, are we talking about working on them, working at getting better at them, or are we talking about are the three styles uh ever changing every season? Ashley, 100% Miss Root and Ritual, 2 to 3 times. Clients can get a silk press. My straight hair naturals can get a silk press 3 times in a row, and then they have to give their hair a break. The girls who are like, I got so many compliments when you straightened my hair and it lasted for XYZ, but I really also love my wash and goes. So how often can I do a silk press? 2 times. If you want to be a straight hair natural, you can do it 3 times in a row. If you're not interested, the tights. If you're not interested in being a straight hair natural and you like having your curls defined, you like wearing your curls, you can do it twice in a row, and then you have to give your hair a break. And their break is significantly longer than my straight hair naturals, the types. So braids, summer, fall, silk presses, etc. Yes, that is still consistent. That is still consistency. That is predictable for your hair while switching it up. That's predictable for your hair while switching it up, right? So maybe you do braids in the summer, but I still would encourage you. How many times, Ashley, are you to do braids and then you have to give your hair a break? We talked about this yesterday. You don't have you you don't have you probably don't have a choice, Jennifer. Depending on how short you went with your wash and go, it's okay to do wash and goes if you did the big chop. Depending on how short you went, you might not have a choice but to do wash and goes. Rochelle, Ashley, Cody, Bianca, Mo, Katina, how many times can you do a protective style? How many times in a row can you do a protective style before you have to give your hair a break? Thank you, Mo. Monique says twice. Okay. So even in the summertime, right? Ashley's hair is on the finer side. So Ashley, I would be suggesting to Ashley that she only keep her protective styles in for 4 to 5 weeks, right? Summer is 3 months. Ashley's going to be taking a break in between those back-to-back styles, right? So you're not doing it for the whole summer, but if that's your primary style for the summer, yeah, sure. I can get on board with that. Same for silk presses. If that's your primary style in the fall, then sure, I can get on board with that. But you do it twice back to back, 3 times if you're a straight hair natural, and then you have to give your hair a break. Okay? That is going to fare much better for you than uh constantly, excuse me, doing the same hairstyles. Hey, Miss Barksdale. Okay? We we really need to talk about we really need to talk about how long of a break for who, Rochelle? Oh, how long of a break for in between braids or silk press? 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. Your break should be 2 to 3 weeks between styles. We'll see you later, Miss Barksdale. For a straight hair natural, a 2 to 3 week break. right? And so last month, one of the videos that was posted, excuse me, one of the videos that was posted to talk about the silk press series was a video of me braiding one of my clients' hair, right? Just two cornrows, two straight backs, and she rocked that for a little while. That's why I love doing that style. It's so simplistic. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, just two cornrows right to the back. And she wore that hairstyle for about 2 weeks, right? Okay, Rochelle. While we work, so silk presses is one style that we're working on. Wash and goes, you already know how to do. When you are thinking about what could be simplistic for you to execute, transitioning from perfecting a straight hair for perfecting being a straight hair natural to your next style, I want you to think about that. Okay, you've perfected wash and goes. You know how to do that really well. You're about to be on a whole nother level, right? With all that we've learned, all that you've learned here, you're about to be on a whole nother level when it comes to being a straight hair natural. After this, we need to be figuring out what's another style that we can execute, that we can work on and be able to execute. I need to learn more about hair and scalp hydration with winter. With winter here, it's really dry. How much water are you drinking daily, Mo? Hey, boss. How much water are you drinking daily, Mo? And then if you have really hard winters there, I want to encourage you to use clarifying shampoos consistently. If we are talking about winter dryness, using clarifying shampoos are going to be helpful. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So that's it for that's what we got for consistency, right? So CBD. C is for consistency. What does the B stand for? If the C in CBD is for consistency, what's the B for? Mo, you ain't answered my question about the water. There we go. There we go, Miss Love. There we go, Miss Root and Ritual. Balance. What does balance mean? When we're talking about, excuse me, when we're talking about hair care products, oh, Mo ain't answered me about the water on purpose. Miss J. Smith, lay off them ponytails and them buns for a minute. Lay off them ponytails and buns for a minute. When we're talking about consistency, I specifically am talking about both moisture and protein, right? That kind of balance is required if you are looking to retain length. Ms. Ritual, tell us what moisture does for your hair. Tell us what a moisturizing product is going to do for your hair. Does a blowout with just the blow dryer count as a break from the silk press? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Rochelle. Miss Rochelle is asking, can she just instead of doing a full on silk press, can she just do a blow dry? And the answer is yes. That is considered a break. That is considered a break. Miss Ritual, tell us what moisture does for the hair. Can you tell us, Rochelle? Ms. Ritual is going to tell us on Instagram, but Rochelle, can you tell us on Facebook and YouTube? We're going to wait for Rochelle. There we go, Cody. Cody, you better have your answer ready when I call on you next time. We're going to wait for Rochelle, and then we'll compare answers. There we go. Moisture gives flexibility, and that bounce we love. Miss Rochelle said, Miss Root and Ritual says. Rochelle says moisture helps provide elasticity to the strands to help create balance. 100%. Moisture keeps the hair pliable. Yes. Flexible. Yes. Yes. Your hair needs to be flexible because when it is stiff, when it is hard, when it is dry and crunchy, it does what? Hair needs to be flexible because when it is stiff, dry, brittle, and crunchy, it does what? And that is 100% going to be the opposite of what you're looking for if your goal is length retention. Hey, boss. There we go, Mo. There we go, boss. Snap and break. And that is 100% the opposite effect of what you want your hair to be doing if what you're looking for is length retention. Moisture is important, right? It makes sure that your detangle process is smooth. It makes sure that your brush glides through your hair when you're brushing it. It makes sure that when you or someone is braiding your hair without extension hair, okay, moisture makes sure that when someone is braiding your hair without extension hair, it's easy to glide, right? Moisture makes sure that when you are straightening your hair, when you do decide to straighten your hair, that it's not already in a place that is dehydrated, causing more breakage, right? Moisture is essential. Some of my favorite moisture focused products, one is the Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo and the conditioner. The other is Aphogie's Moisture Focused Shampoo and Conditioner. So depending on where you are in your budget, right? Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo and Conditioner, those are some of my favorites. Depending on where you are in your budget, either the Herbal Essence Hello Hydration Shampoo and Conditioner or the Aphogie Moisture Focused Shampoo and Conditioner. Okay. Moisture, excuse me, depending on where you are in your budget, you have 3 different choices. Okay. Aphogie, their Moisture Focused Shampoo and Conditioner, Herbal Essences Hello Hydration, or the Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo and Conditioner. Okay. Now, if you do decide to do braids, right, as one of your styles that you are going to consistently be getting better at, if you are doing braids, what's a way that you can maintain moisture while in your braids? How can you make sure that your hair maintains flexibility while you are in your braids? Not your scalp, your hair. Not your scalp, your hair. Yes, but Natalie, which one? Not water, right, Natalie? Do you use water when your hair is already styled? Do you use water to moisturize? That's not my preference, Miss Ritual, but if that's what works for you and your clients, by all means. But we talked about this the other night, right, Natalie? What dries faster, water or oil? What dries faster, water or oil? Hey, boss. We don't know. Jennifer, what dries faster? Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Miss Tiny. So let me ask you a question. If you had to choose between a product, I oil my scalp when I have braids. We're not talking about just your scalp, Bianca. We're talking about your hair specifically. Your hair specifically. Okay. If you had an option between a product that is going to dry faster and a product that takes time to leave your hair, to dry from your hair, you might want to use a product that is going to take longer to leave your hair, right? Water is going to evaporate much faster than an oil will. So if you are in braids, if you have two-strand twists, if you are wearing Meek Mill braids up underneath your wig, instead of spraying water on your hair daily because it keeps feeling like it's dry, use an oil so that you hold on to or retain moisture. Use an oil because it's going to allow you to hold on or retain moisture far better than water. Quiet as it's kept, far better than leave-in conditioner, because a leave-in conditioner has what usually as the main ingredient. What is leave-in conditioner's main ingredient typically? Please don't make me nervous. Not today. There we go. There we go. Right? And if it's water-based, it is going to dry faster. So if you want moisture retention because you're looking for length retention, you want to use an oil on the strands of your hair, on the strands of your braids, on the strands of your twists, right? A couple of drops of your rose gold oil, rub it into your hands on the ends of your braids, on the ends of your twists, okay? On the ends of your braids, on the ends of your twists. Don't apply water and then your oil. Do me a favor, please, okay? I don't know everything, but I know everything about what I know. Could you do me a favor, Valerie? Okay, just listen to me on this one. Okay, listen to me on this one. No water and then oil, just oil. This is our rose gold oil. Okay, it has rosehip seed oil in it, which is used in a lot of luxury brands' skincare. It is super moisturizing and incredibly lightweight, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to include it in the rose gold oil. Okay, and not for nothing, this rose gold oil, you know, didn't I tell you the other day? It smells like a warm hug. Smell it. You want to, Mo? You want? All right, here. Doesn't it smell like a warm hug? Hey, Rochelle's. Okay, so Mo is asking, what about on a silk press? So here's how I advise my clients who are straight hair naturals. Hey, Nicole. Here's how I advise my clients who are straight hair naturals to use their rose gold oil. Use it when you are about to get your hair pressed again. Excuse me. Use it just before you're going to go to shampoo and condition your hair. Be anywhere between 3 to 5 days. Okay. Hey boss, anywhere between 3 to 5 days before. Anywhere between 3 to 5 days before your next wash day, you're gonna use your rose gold oil on the ends of your hair. Okay, Jay. This is what we got Jay doing. Jay and I had to do a nice, a significant chop. Any kind of haircut, okay, that alters what your hair looks like today. Anything that ain't a trim, okay. We had to cut Jay's hair. What was it? End of 2026, 2024. End of 2024. Jay's hair is significantly close to where we started in terms of length. Hey, Blandy. Okay, using the rose gold oil on the Jay. You don't use the BMO, right? I know for sure you use the rose gold oil, but I don't think you. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I don't believe I don't believe that Jay uses the Black Magic oil. Hey, Tanya. Did you smell it, Mo? It smells like a warm hug. It's like oatmeal-y a little bit, a little oatmeal, a little vanilla. You know. Sometimes. So Jay only uses the Black Magic oil. Sometimes the rose gold oil is what has helped us in a year's time. Did we cut your hair the other day, Jay? Not the other day, but when we saw each other in December, did we cut your hair? What if doing roller sets? Can you put oil on already wet hair to set? I wouldn't. It would weigh down your silk press. If you're going to use any oil before you, hold on. Y'all ain't see that lady's hair last year? Y'all ain't see that lady's hair last year? The lady who had all that heat damage because she got a hot oil treatment? Allegedly. The stylist said that the reason for her heat damage was the hot oil treatment. I know that's right. Jay said, and the hair is back. Yeah. You know? I would not put any oil, especially not the rose gold oil or the black magic oil. Do not put that on your hair before you go to do your silk press. Do not do it. If you want to do a hot oil treatment before you do a roller set, if you want to do a hot oil therapy session, sure. Before you do your silk press, before you do your roller set, before you do a hot style, before you put a flat iron, a blow dryer to it, you could do some hot oil therapy, which is essentially a hot oil treatment. But because I tell y'all not to do treatments at home, we had to switch how we say that. Jay, can we not cut your hair? Can we not cut your hair? This is the beauty of it, right? This is the beauty of having healthy hair. This is the beauty of having a great relationship with your hair, being able to listen to your hair. I take care of Jay's hair. Jay takes care of her daughter's hair. Everything I tell Jay to do in terms of listening, maintenance, she does to her daughter's hair. Jay's baby girl, locks, long locks, luscious locks. Okay? And she's a swimmer. All right? Moisture retention is not easy for swimmers. We'll talk about that during the summer. Hey, boss. But no, I would not put any oil on the hair without washing it out if I was doing a roller set or a silk press or a blowout. Okay? So we've learned why moisture is important to length retention. Talk to me about why protein is essential to length retention. Talk to me. Do me a favor, please. Before we get to this part, before we start talking about protein, can you do me a favor? Can you send this to a friend or two? She's probably on her lunch. She's probably getting ready to take pick them children up from school. Hey, Safina, do me a favor. Send this to just two of your friends, okay? And then when you're done, come back and comment done. And we'll talk about the strength piece and why that's important. Your friends should know this information too. You shouldn't be the only one. How'd she break her arm? Can you share this with a friend or two and then comment done when you're done, please? Hey, Courtney. What the hell is a bag bit? Wait, Rochelle, what does that mean? Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Ms. Root and Ritual. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate you. And sit down somewhere is 100% correct. Okay, are we ready? Here's why protein is essential. Ms. Rochelle, you tell me, you've been to some of these classes. You tell me if you've heard me say this before. Here's why protein is essential to your moisture retention, which is essential to your length retention. Protein, I know that sounds interesting, right? That probably sounds weird. How in the world is protein going to be essential? How is a hardening product, how is a strengthening product going to be essential to my moisture retention? Thank you so much, Tanya. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate you. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you, D Best. Here's how protein is essential to your moisture retention. Okay, so this is a hair strand. Okay, this is a hair strand. On this hair strand, as she gets older, as Rochelle does more wash and goes, as Cody does a couple more protective styles, right? Or as Bianca does a couple more sew and weaves, right? Done. Thank you, Miss Brown Sugar. Okay. As we apply more wear and tear to our hair strand, as our hair strand gets a little bit older, what happens is you get nicks and grooves and loss of protein in your hair strand, right? So little chunks of protein go missing, right? It's groovy. It's not smooth like it used to be when it was full of protein and had moisture and balance, right? It's not smooth like it was. Now it's got some dips in there, right? It's missing a little protein. It's missing some chunks. It's missing some keratin, right? So here's what happens. If Rochelle wasn't in class and she only focused on moisture, as she loses protein, Rochelle would just be covering over her dips and grooves. Right, Rochelle? Moisture, moisture, moisture. Because why does my hair feel so rough? Right? It must be dry. It must be dry, right? So let me deep condition with this moisture mask. Let me book a hydration treatment the next time I go and sit with a stylist, right? All Rochelle is doing when she does that is coating the nicks and dips and grooves, right? Here's what happened when you apply protein to your moisture. What happens is the protein goes and fills in the keratin spots, the keratin loss, the protein loss. And then when Rochelle goes to apply her protein, now we have a whole hair strand. Because we filled in the nicks and dips and grooves that were protein lost before. We replaced or replenished that protein. And so because we've filled in the holes, we've filled in the gaps of the protein or the keratin loss, now when Rochelle goes to use her moisture-focused shampoos and conditioners, that moisture is coating a hair strand that is whole. Does that make sense? Can we understand that better? Why protein is essential? Because if you don't use protein, you're just going to be coating hair that has chunks of it missing, that has keratin missing, that has protein missing. It's like it is a filler for your it is a filler for your hair. It is a filler for your hair. It is 100% a filler for your hair, excuse me. Okay, Ms. Bling Cakes? So that is why protein becomes essential to your moisture retention. Protein is like the building blocks and moisture is the wrapping and holding. Andrea. You just made me so proud. Protein is like the building blocks and moisture is the wrapping to hold it all together. There we go. 100%. 100%. 100%. And the longer you go without filling in the gaps, right? The longer you go and more blocks, more chunks of protein or keratin are taken, eventually what does that lead to? The more protein blocks you lose, the more holes created in the hair strand, the more fibers you lose. What happens to the hair strand after that? Thank you, Andrea. That is a huge compliment coming from another stylist. It weakens, precisely, E. It weakens, and then tell me what happens. Give me more. Give me more, E. Give me more. You're on a roll, baby. Give me more, E. It weakens and then does what? Tell me more. I want E to answer me. I know we're getting all the answers, but E was giving me shit the other day about why what was it E why I just learned about quiet as it's kept. E was talking big trash the other day. Tell me why. Tell me why. Okay, it weakens, and why is that an issue? Valerie, this question ain't for you. Trina, this question ain't for you. This is for E only. E, why do we care if the hair weakens? E, come on, answer my question. My hand getting heavy. Do you? We waiting for E. We waiting for E to get his answer, and then we can move on. Y'all can get your guide. It becomes fragile and breaks more easily. Thank you. And breakage leads to what? Rochelle, girl. If you think I'm going to the gym today after E had me holding my arm up like that, you got another thing coming. Why? What was I saying? Why is what? Oh, why is hair that is fragile and easy to break going directly against your length retention goals? Because eventually you will have to cut your hair. And if you are looking to retain length, a haircut is not in the cards. Exactly, Mo. Mo's listening. So, Mo, when you are thinking about your daughter's hair, right? Hey, Mandy, when you are thinking about your daughter's hair and you are hearing me say to implement more protein, here's what I want you to think about, Mo. And I'm going to give you guys the guide. Hey, boss, I'm going to give you guys the guide right after this, okay? Here's what I want you to think about, Mo. Every single wash day, you want to be creating balance for your hair. Every single wash day, you want to be creating what for your hair? Excuse me. Relaxed hair needs what, Jay? Jay, I feel like we talked about this just the other day. Relaxed hair needs what? Trina, tell me more. Every single wash day, you want to be using moisture and protein for exactly what Cody, Valerie, Jennifer, and Mo are saying, because you want to create balance for your hair. You want that moisture to make sure that your hair is lubricated, and you want that protein to make sure that your hair is strong, to make sure that those fibers are filled in on the hair strand, so that this way you have a whole hair strand from root to tip. Okay? Root to tip. So when you, let me ask you a question, okay? Because this sounds foreign. Using protein every day sounds very foreign to a lot of people. But I'm going to tell you two things, right? You already know this, but we're going to reiterate this, okay? Two things. One, protein comes in different forms, right? Your lightest forms are your shampoo, and your leave-in conditioner. Your heavier form is your conditioner. Your heaviest form is a keratin or a protein, is a keratin treatment, okay? Or a Botox treatment, okay? Protein hair masks, protein deep conditioners, protein treatments are on the heavier side, right? They're significantly heavier than just your protein conditioners. So you can use a really light form by way of a protein focused what? What's a light form of protein? So are you saying the recommendation is to use a protein and dehydrating shampoo? No. When you say dehydrating, tell me what you mean, Mo. If you want to give your hair a light form of protein, you can use what or what? If anybody else says another request to be in this live, I'm going to accept your request, and we're going to have a live virtual consultation up on here. You keep hitting that button. Keep hitting that button. Keep hitting that button. Pause. Hey, yo. That's what she said. Thank you, Miss Love Music. Hey, boss. Rochelle, got a little, you know, was talking a little too fast. Was talking a little too fast. Exactly, Courtney. Either the shampoo or the leave-in conditioner. Where can you find my favorite protein-focused shampoo and protein-focused leave-in conditioner, Rochelle? Where can you find my favorite protein-focused shampoo and protein-focused conditioner, Rochelle? And then, Mo, I'm going to answer your question. We'll wait for Rochelle to answer. And in the meantime, I'm going to answer Monique's questions. Okay, so are you saying the recommendation is to use a protein and hydrating shampoo within the same wash day, or we use them consistently? You are to be using moisture and protein constantly, every time. Moisture and protein every time, like clockwork, every time, every single wash day. That's a constant. Every single wash day, you are using moisture and protein. Okay? Um, they they got rid of my live on Facebook. I mean Instagram. Yikes. Repeat what, Miss J. Smith? I did. There we go. Texturepress.com. www.texturepress.com. There we go. Mo, the Itatin leave-in conditioner is moisture focused, not protein focused. There we go. Hey, Miss Brown Sugar. Okay, so here's what balance looks like. Okay, Cody. Here's what balance looks like. Monique is asking if I'm using a. Dang, what was the example you gave, Mo? If I use a protein, am I supposed to be using a protein shampoo and a hydrating shampoo in the same wash day? So here's what. Hey, boss, how are you? Here's what balance looks like on wash day. If you use a protein focused shampoo and a protein focused conditioner, you use a what kind of leave-in conditioner to create balance for your hair? Tanya, I'm about to give it to you and the guy, baby. You just got to hold on for me. We lost our crew on Instagram. You got to hold on for me. I had to wait for the girls to get back in here because I can't give you the guy without giving it to them too. If you use a protein focused shampoo and a protein focused conditioner on wash day, what kind of leave-in conditioner are you going to use? Excellent. And if Rochelle used on this particular wash day the Hello Hydration moisture focused shampoo and conditioner, what kind of leave-in conditioner would she use on this wash day? There we go, Cody. So I use moisturizing shampoo and moisturizing conditioner. Then I need to use a protein-based leave-in conditioner. There we go, Mo. Look at Mo. Get to charging your friends. Tell your friends what I just taught you for free and start charging your friends. Because now you know more than a whole bunch of hairstylists out there charging people for their services. Okay? Exactly, Rochelle. If Rochelle used a moisture-focused shampoo and conditioner, she would use a protein-focused leave-in conditioner. Okay? Give her hair a really light form of protein after she gave it a nice amount of moisture. Because we're assuming, right? We're assuming that Rochelle is listening to her hair on this wash day. Okay. What up, Abigail? Abigail, I owe you a guide. Abigail, don't listen to this. Oh, I should have gave y'all this guide a long time ago. Now Abigail's on here. Abigail, hey Desiree. Abigail, I promise Soon as we get off this live, I'm gonna figure out how to send you the guide. Oh, I think I can do it. Hold on. I think I can figure it out. We gotta do this for Abigail because Abigail asked for this guide the other day. Oh, look, I already got it pulled up. Abigail asked for this guide the other day. I got to figure out how to get this guide to Abigail. Give me 1 second, y'all. We ain't gonna leave our sister. We ain't gonna leave our sister in Christ out to hang like that. You hear me? Okay. Anyone with the link? Anyone can access this? No, we don't want that. No. Copy link. How do I do this so that okay, I think I got it. Abigail, as soon as we get off this live, I got you, okay? Natalie, did you even open the guide? I feel like I got to ask you. Did you open the guide, Natalie? Yeah, fine hair in particular. Fine hair in particular needs protein. Why? Rochelle could tell you. If Rochelle is still on here, Rochelle could tell you. Hey, Cassandra. If Rochelle is still on here, Rochelle could tell you why fine hair need protein. The problem is, okay. The problem is a lot of people don't even know how to. People be talking about you. You listen to her. She talking about using protein every wash day. You use protein every wash day. You listen to her. Whole time. You don't even know. Most women don't. Let me not say women. Most people don't know how to identify a protein-focused product when they see one. Exactly, Rochelle. Tanya, that is why your classmate just put you on. Tanya, your classmate just put you on as to why fine hair needs more protein. That's why it's more prone to breakage, because it's missing a layer of protein. That's why it's so skinny. Not me about to say Psalms. Hey, Psalms 37. What was I saying? Most people don't know how to even identify whether it's a protein-focused product or not. Okay, so let me give you this guide, and then I'm gonna give you 3 ways that you're gonna be able to identify a protein-focused product. Ready? Ready for the guide? Hit ready in the comments. Excuse me. Hit ready in the comments if you're ready for the guide. Reply. Comment ready. Excuse me. Comment ready if you're ready for the guide. And we got to end this live soon. I'm down in my last bit of water. No, Mo. You'll know for next time. Okay? Rochelle, don't you get this guide again, because you just got it the other day. You don't need it again. Chantel, tell Rochelle, Chantel, she don't need the guide. She could come in here and teach a class, Chantel. She don't need the guide. Rochelle don't need the guide. Ms. Room Ritual, you wasn't here the other day? You ain't get the thing the other day? Mm-hmm. See, Rochelle? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to text the word winter. 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 Jennifer, tell her to pull up to class. She'll WINTER. Winter. You're going to text the word winter. WINTER. You're going to text the word winter to 347 802. Chantel, why you laughing at me? Why you ain't tell her? 347-802-0953. You're going to text the word winter. It's a free guide. I put it there. A free guide. Okay? You're gonna follow this guide for anywhere between 60 to 90 days. Okay? 60 to 90 days. If you notice a difference in how your hair feels, if you notice a difference, and how your hair responds to you, spin the block. And especially if it don't work. If you follow this guide and it does not work, if you follow this guide and you're like, my hair is actually getting worse, send me a message. Send me a message. I'll post it. I'll post it in the stories. I'll post it on my page, and we'll have a full-on discussion about it. If you try this for 60 to 90 days and it doesn't work, hit me up and we'll have a full-on public conversation about it. Okay? Let me know when you got the guide. WINTER. You're going to text that to 347-802-0953. And then do me a favor, please. When you have it in your text messages, let me know that you got it. Jay Smith, let me know that you got it, and then we'll talk about how to identify protein. You got it, Cody? We'll talk about how to identify. Cody, you didn't get it the other day? Ms. J. Smith, we'll talk about how to identify protein and then some ways that you can use protein to your advantage, being relaxed and color treated. It's taking them that long? Cody, how you got yours so fast? Ain't nobody got theirs over there. Did we text the wrong number? Cody, I don't know why they take it so long. But Cody, you gonna do that for me? You gonna follow the guide for 60 to 90 days and keep me posted? It's making me nervous that they don't have it over here. Okay, Mo says she got hers. Mo? All right, Mo. All right, Valerie. Valerie, you ain't had it. You didn't have it before, Valerie? Cody, I think some people is double dipping. E, you got yours? Okay. All right, so let's talk to Ms. Smith. I'm sorry, no, let me give y'all 3 ways to identify protein on a product, and then we'll talk to Ms. J. Smith, and then we'll wrap this live up, okay? Okay. I am going to give you 3 ways to identify protein. What you need to do right now for me, please, you are going to type protein in the comments. Don't send it. Just type protein. Tanya, the phone number is, girl, you're going to text Winter to 347-802-0953. Everybody do me a favor, please. Do not send the comment. Just write protein in your comments. Didn't I say don't send it, Rochelle? I said don't send it. Don't send it. Just write protein in your comment. Don't send the comment, though, okay? Here's what we're going to do. Ms. Room Ritual, here's what we're going to do. Do not send the comment, please, but please write protein in the comment for me. Don't send the comment, Jennifer. Just write protein in the comment. Do not send it, okay? Here's how you're going to identify protein. You're going to write protein in your comment and dash. Reconstruct. Natalie, you see them over here? Reconstruct. Bond rebuild. Hey, Deirdre. Reconstruct. Bond rebuild. And keratin. Reconstruct. Bond rebuild. And keratin. You're going to write protein, a dash, and then you're going to write those 3 things. reconstruct, bond rebuild, and keratin. Protein dash reconstruct, bond rebuild, keratin. Send it in the comments, please. Send it in the comments, please. Perfect. Now, when you see these descriptive words on a product, you know that it is not going to soften your hair because it's meant to strengthen your hair. Okay? So don't get mad at Mielle Organics strengthening peppermint shampoo and conditioner when it doesn't leave your hair soft for weeks, because it's not meant to do that. It's meant to fill in whatever protein and keratin you may have lost, so that when you use your moisture focused products coat the hair strand and allow you to retain more moisture. Okay. Now, some feature ingredients. We only talked about 3, Miss Love Music, but yes, that is one of them. There are many, but I only want you to focus on 3 right now, Miss Love Music. Okay? Now, when it comes to feature ingredients, right? So feature ingredients are when you see drips of honey on the packaging. Feature ingredients are when you see macadamia nuts on the packaging. Feature ingredients can be banana, right? When you see that on the packaging, that all speaks to what the product should be doing more of. Okay, so when you see, we're going to write protein again and then dash, please. Protein and then dash, but do not send it. Okay, you're going to write protein and then dash. Coconut oil. Babassu oil. All right, let's all look up how to write babassu. Protein dash coconut oil. Babassu oil. I don't know if it's 2 S's. I think it is. Yeah, it's 2 S's. BABASSU. Babassu oil. Coconut oil, babassu oil, and Jamaican black castor oil. Coconut oil, babassu oil, and Jamaican black castor oil. Send it in the comments, please. So if you have the It's a 10 Miracle leave-in conditioner, the keratin one, that is a protein. Is that a protein-focused leave-in conditioner or a moisture-focused leave-in conditioner, Mo? Coconut oil, babassu, Jamaican black castor oil. Coconut oil, babassu oil, Jamaican black castor oil. These are all going to do what for your hair? They're not going to moisturize it. They're not going to soften it. They're going to, there we go, Mo. So if you've been using hydration for your shampoo and your conditioner, you've been using protein for your leave-in conditioner if you've been using that one. This is why I say we don't even be knowing how to identify what's strengthening versus not strengthening. So when your homegirls are telling you use protein every wash day, if Shorty's been using the Mielle Organics strengthening shampoo and conditioner, she's been using protein every wash day too. Don't piss me off. Thank you, Arnitris. Coconut oil, babassu oil, Jamaican black castor oil is going to do more strengthening or give your hair more structure than it is going to give it more flexibility. Right, Natalie? Tell her, don't piss me off, girl. You're going to focus on just those 3. I wish this was a real class. I wish this was a real school, because I would give y'all homework and I would give y'all homework and have y'all bring in 2 protein focused products from home. I wish this was a real class. That would be your homework for tonight. Your homework for tonight is bring 2 protein focused products to class tomorrow. If it's not protein, you get an F. No, let me stop. Okay? Another one is almond oil. Almond oil is another one. All right, that's the last one. That's the last one. That's the last one. The almond oil is the last one. Okay? Coconut oil, babassu oil, Jamaican black castor oil, almond oil, all are going to be strengthening. Yes. Yes. I would still consider the fact that biotin and sweet almond oil are strengtheners, right? And I would consider just how much of those strengthening in particular ingredients are in the formula, are formulated in that product. But let's not take away from the fact that those are the ingredients that they are giving the consumer so that you can have a picture, you can have an idea, of what's in the product, right? They're not usually talking a lot about the more concentrated, the more concentrated forms, right? Or ways to identify protein in a product. Okay. Ms. Armstead? I use natural coconut oil and natural castor oil and natural almond oil. Trina, you worried about not giving your hair enough protein. I'm scared you're giving your hair too much protein. What shampoo and conditioner? Why are they strengthening? I don't make the rules, Mom. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know. I don't know the in-depth answer as to why they actually strengthen. What do you think about Amika the Cure? I've been seeing that a lot. Here's what I'll say. Not you putting me on the spot, Natalie. Here's what I'll say. If the brand gifts me the product, I will for sure use the products. But I've purchased the product once before, and I'm not interested in repurchasing it. And not because it's bad. I'll say this, Natalie. You don't have to be sorry. I won't use the product. I won't spend my money on it again. But not because it's bad, but because I think that there are better products that I think that there are other products that perform just as well at a different price point. I feel like what I get in the Amika products, I'll save the core one. I tried the core one and then the Hydro one, right? So for sure, the core one, I feel like performs just as well as the Sexy Hair strengthening shampoo and conditioner, which I really like, right? I feel like Amika performs just as well as the protein focused shampoo and conditioner that I recommend to you guys. My preference is to save myself as much money and as much time as I possibly can. And the Amika products are more expensive than a product that I feel like performs the same but costs less. I'm unfamiliar with Instacare. Why do you recommend balancing this way, using moisture and protein every wash day rather than alternating moisture wash day with a protein wash day? Here's why I want you to do it every single wash day. Because I know my clients. Okay. I know my clients Miss Love Music. I know that if Natalie only has, if Natalie feels like she's only that she's to use all of those on one alternating wash days, then when she runs out, she's gonna feel stuck, right? Because if it's okay for her to use all moisture on a wash day, then all protein on another wash day, if she runs out of one of her protein focused products, Natalie is likely to not wash her hair at all until she replaces that product. Whereas if Natalie has all six and she knows to use both on a wash day, if Natalie runs out of her protein focused shampoo, she can rest assured that if she uses a moisture focused shampoo, but then just uses a protein focused conditioner and a moisture focused leave-in conditioner, she'll still be okay. Okay. My preference is for you to consider using giving your hair both moisture and protein every wash day, as opposed to relying on memory when you used moisture. Did I use moisture the last time, or did I use protein the last time? Hi, Mello. How are you? And again, Natalie, I'm not saying that it's a bad product, right? But I am saying that I've found a product that performs, in my professional opinion, just as well at a lesser price point. I'm not saying that that product is bad. Now, don't ask me about that hydro on this live. You can DM me about it. Okay? Exactly, Rochelle. Exactly. I have studied again. Remember, first of all, I'm going to tell you two things. Firstly, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I would be remiss if I did not study my client. I don't know Rochelle, right? I don't don't ask me on this live, Rochelle. I don't know Rochelle. Rochelle, have you and I ever met in person? Hi, Mello. How are you? I don't think that Rochelle and I have ever met in person. Are you saying that the conditioner should be offering both? No, 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 no. I'm not saying that, boss. I'm not saying that the conditioner should do both. No, no, no. Okay. Rochelle and I have never met in person. I study the women that I work for so well that I don't have to have ever met you to have a really good idea of who you are and how you behave. I study the women that I serve because it serves you, it serves me, excuse me, to know you well. When I said a while ago, that I am your hair husband, don't you want for the partner that you choose in your life, right? For the partner that you choose in your life, for the spouse that you choose in your life, don't you want them to study you so that they know what you are going to do? They have a pretty good idea of what you're going to do before you do it. Why do we want our significant other to have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do before we do it? Why do we hair aside for a second? Why do we want our significant other to study us, to know what we're going to do before we do it? Here's what I use every wash day: Dove Amino Pearl Curl Repair. And I will use Miracle Rescue. And honey, my hair has been restored completely, and now it's going back. Oh my girl, Trina, I love that you found what works for you. Nobody knows. Hold on a second. Nobody knows why we want. Nobody. You guys don't want that. let me ask that first, because maybe I'm misreading this. Your preference is not to have a partner that knows you well enough to know what you're going to do before you do it. Thank you, Miss Root and Ritual. Mo, I know that's right. Right? Thank you, Miss Strong. Thank you, Rochelle. If I take on the part, right? As your partner, this is a journey, right? We work together. Rochelle, Natalie, and we work together. I have, you and I both have a common goal, right? Not very different from any other relationship. You and I have a common goal, which is for you to have the hair of your desire, right? Whether it's hair that is long, hair that is full, hair that is shiny, hair that is just healthy, whatever that looks like, you and I are on the same page. I want you to have the kind of hair that you want, the same way you want to have the kind of hair that you want. Me being able to study you and say, okay, I know that the women that I serve in general are going to get fixated on a thing. And so I don't want them to only use moisture. I don't want them to only use protein. Me positioning myself to study someone like Rochelle, someone like Natalie, and say, before I advise them, before I give them my expert knowledge, I need to know that Rochelle is probably going to forget. Right? And so before Rochelle forgets, before we get to the error, before we get to the mistake, before we get to the blind choice, before we have to get to correction, let me stop you and give you guidance so that we don't have to do that. Right? I know that if you press your hair more than once, you are likely not going to be thinking about turning the temperature down. So what do I embed in you? If ever you have to silk press your hair twice, what's the rule, Rochelle? Thank you, Trina. Thank you, Trina. What's the rule, Rochelle? If ever you have to press your hair twice, what's the rule? Okay, but by how many degrees, Rochelle? Because just telling you to turn the temperature down could mean 10 degrees, 20 degrees. It could mean 70 degrees. What's the rule when we have to press our press or flat iron the hair more than once? Turn the temperature down 30 to 40 degrees. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Miss Root and Ritual. Turn the temperature down 30 to 40 degrees. Right? When Tanya is feeling lazy, right? Because I know you, I know what it is. I know what it is to be I know what it is to be us. Right? A woman who is overwhelmed, stretched thin at work, stretched thin at home. And now the majority of us are coming to an age where we're also taking care of our parents. So that's another thing to think of. Let me make it simple for you. Use both moisture and protein every single wash day. Because I know likely that Tanya, E, Miss Root and Ritual, right, could have a sick child at any time. It's okay, E. Could have a sick child at any moment, right? Could be down bad for a whole week, or could be down bad for a weekend or a whole week, right? I say use your rose gold oil once every 7 to 10 days, so that Miss Root and Ritual doesn't have to be committed to taking care of a sick child 7 days, taking care of a sick child the whole weekend, and feel guilty because she forgot to apply her oil that is suggested she use every single day. Let me take the pressure. Let me take the pressure off. That every day, that every wash day, let me take some of the pressure off. Let me make it easy for you. I want to save you both time and money. We are all at the age where time and money is of the essence, right? Or I'm bugging. I'm bugging. Do we all have an abundance of time and money and I just misread that? If we all have an abundance of time and money and I misread that, I sincerely apologize. And also, let's wrap this up, because this ain't the right audience. I'm not talking to the right people. My bad. You know? My bad. But if you are very similar to myself, if you are very, very similar to Natalie, if you are very similar to Rochelle, Miss Root and Ritual, and you do not have an abundance of time or money, let me make this easy for you. You don't need but 6 products, right? Protein focused shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner, moisture focused shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner. Let's make it easy. How do I know if I'm using protein? Boom, here's the trigger words. If it's winter time, it's cold outside, the air is dry. How am I going to be using protein in the wintertime? Boom, made a guide for you. Put it together for you. I don't know what shampoo and conditioner to use. Or put a kit together for you. I don't want to be using the oil on my scalp every single day. Put something together for you. Okay. Miss Root and Ritual, girl. Okay. I don't know where the time went. I don't have enough. Ever. Never. Ever since we became adults, ain't enough time in the world. We was little kids. Them naps took forever, didn't they? Now, can't get a nap in to save your life. Couldn't pay enough to not want to nap every day. Okay. Now, Ms. J. Smith, can we transition real quick? Why do I suggest that you use moisture and protein every single wash day as opposed to all moisture on one wash day, all protein on another wash day? Is because I know that my clients are not going to remember one wash day to the next. So if they just remember that every wash day, they should be using both moisture and protein, then we've got all of our bases covered, right? And I've seen it be effective. I've seen it work really, really well. I've seen it work really, really well. Also, in certain months, you should be using way less protein. In certain times of the year, certain times of the year, you should be using way less protein. In certain times of the year, you should be using way less moisture, right? When should you use more protein? What time of the year should you use more protein, Rochelle, Miss Root and Ritual? Jennifer, Mo, when should you use more protein? I probably should have led with this. When should you use more protein? I got to get up off here. I got to stop doing these 90-minute lives. I'm getting up off here. We're going to answer this question. I'm going to give Miss J. Smith some pointers, and we're getting out of here. Thank you, Miss Love Music. And tell me why. So are you saying follow up a protein conditioner with a moisture conditioner to soften it? Nope. If you are going to be using a protein-focused shampoo, and a protein focused conditioner, how can you create balance for that wash day? If your protein is in your shampoo and your conditioner, how can you create balance on that wash day, sweetie? I'm calling you sweetie because that's the name on the thing, on the screen. Profile name. You know what I meant. Exactly. There's already a lot of moisture in the air. You don't need much more by way of your shampoo and your conditioner. Well, you cannot know. That's okay. If I am asking you to give your hair both moisture and protein every single wash day, right? And you are getting moisture in, okay, let me start with this. I'm sorry, sweetie. Every single wash day, you're going to be using shampoo, conditioner, and leave-in conditioner. Is that correct, sweetie? Are we on the same page that we should be doing that? Shampoo, conditioner, and leave-in conditioner every single wash day. Okay. Shampoo, conditioner every single wash day, right? If you are getting protein in your shampoo and you are getting protein in your conditioner, there we go. Whoa. Mo, she gave me an answer with a question mark. Is you asking me a question or is you giving me an answer, sweetie? You could be wrong around here, but you got to say with your whole chest, baby. I don't care. I don't care how wrong you are. We will correct together, but don't you answer a question with a question mark. Give me exclamation point, period, one of the two, not a question. Restate your answer, boss. Be audacious with it. There we go. See? Nope, I'm firm with it. Moisture in the leave-in. Nope, I'm firm with it. Moisture in the leave-in. Yeah. Look, and now you go charge your friends for what you just learned. You know what I'm saying? You know more than some of the stylists out there. Okay. Whoa, Mo. If we're talking about in general, not everybody's a swimmer. If you are a swimmer, when we do the swimming class, when we talk about swimmers, come back to that class because it is a different set of rules for swimmers. It is a different set of rules for swimmers, but not everybody swims. I'm going to just spit darts and say that less than half of us on this live be swimming in the summertime. Do you use the Hydro Splash for fine hair? Nope. Nope. It is made for fine hair. It is made for softer textures that don't hold well with moisture. I just don't leave it on as long. If I have a client, that has fine hair, I don't switch up a whole lot of my products. I don't. You finna get this work. However we do it. So for the Joico Moisture Recovery Shampoo and Conditioner, if myself or the client thinks that it's weighing their hair down, I just don't leave it on as long. Usually I leave the conditioner on for 7 minutes, no deep conditioning. Most conditioners, I leave on for 3 to 7 minutes, no deep conditioning. If I feel like I oftentimes will dry the hair, like towel blot the hair a little bit before I apply conditioner. If I feel like my client's hair is fine, I just won't towel blot their hair. I'll let the water on their hair dilute it a little bit. I don't do that. I don't. We can make it work with what we got because they have to make it work with what they have at home. It's not an excuse for you to not do your hair. We could figure it out. If ever you think a product is too heavy, add some water to it. That's what I do to the Joico anyway. When they reformulated it and made it thicker, I said, y'all, that was dumb. So I add water to the regular moisture recovery conditioner, and that's for everybody. Coarse hair, medium hair, I add it to the whole jug. I add water to the whole jug because it's way too dense and it doesn't work as well as it used to when it was looser. Okay, Miss J. Smith, please text Winter, WINTER, to 347. 802-0953. Okay, y'all be Miss Winter, please do me a favor. I'm sorry, Miss J. Smith, please do me a favor. Text the word winter to 347-802-0953. What do you do with a client who isn't consistent at home, no matter how often you educate? The first time we'll have a conversation about it, and there's an additional price because I'm probably going to have to do a treatment for it. The second time, I'm going to reiterate that this might not be the best fit if we see each other again and you have not improved. But my time is my money, right? And even if you don't have a lot of options, make a nigga believe you got a lot of options. I break up with clients. Let me not say all the time, but I've broken up with clients quite a few times. Okay. And no, you can't come back. If I break up with you, you know you can't come back. So yeah, no, it's time. It could be, you're my walking billboard, and if you are consistently out here looking crazy, guess whose name they're going to associate that with? No, it's okay. We'll make room for someone who does want me to be on this journey with them. All right, Ms. J. Smith. Finally, okay. Are you blonde or do you color your hair darker color? Mo, this is again. I feel very passionately about a couple of things, right? The women that I already serve and the women that want me to join their journey, right? If I have a wait list and you keep playing in my face, somebody on that wait list could have taken this spot. Someone who really desires my help, someone who really values the information that I have to give could be taking this spot, and they could be further along, right? Now, I will say, Ms. Room Ritual, context matters, right? So if I have a client who I can tell is like depressed, overwhelmed, because sometimes that's how it shows up, right? Not taking care of your hair. Sometimes life is so overwhelming. Sometimes that man is draining you. Sometimes them parents is draining you. Sometimes them kids is draining you. Sometimes that job is draining you. So much so that it's like, yo, the last thing I have energy to do is my freaking hair. I want to be empathetic, right? I want to be empathetic. I want you to know that I understand the position that you're in. I get it. But you have to understand and respect me as well, excuse me. Take the business out of it. If you were just my friend and you weren't taking care of yourself, and we've had multiple conversations about this, I'm not finna talk to you no more. Not about this. And as a matter of fact, I really might stop chilling with you for a little bit, fall back, because you might need space to get it together. So that's okay. This might be your season where you need to focus on things that are not related to your hair, right? I'll tell you this, Ms. Ritual. A while ago, I had a client who was doing really well for a while and then fell off, right? I said to her, I completely understand. This is the second appointment that I noticed she was not doing well in between her visits. I said, I completely understand if this is the season. There are seasons for everything. This might not be the season where you have time to focus on your hair. And that's okay. But you need to talk to me. You need to talk to me about that, right? So that I can give you alternatives on how we approach this thing. If this is a lazy season for you, that looks a little bit different. My expectations look different for you. How often and frequently I expect us to see each other looks different for you. What I expect when we see each other, all of that looks different. But you got to talk to me. She's like, yo, I am going through a lot. My sister this, my mom is going through this, my dad is going through this, and I feel like I'm the one holding everything, right? And now we're breaking down in the salon. That's usually what I try to avoid. But now we're breaking down in the salon. It's like, okay, I get it. This is the season. This is the season. And sometimes that conversation is like, damn, I was holding all of that in. Ain't nobody asked me. Nobody cared enough, Mandy. Nobody cared enough to ask. Nobody cared enough to have a conversation with me, right? And it's like, yo, I have a ton of resources. I'm a hairstylist. I know people that do anything. Anything. I am a dot connector. What do you need help with? So-and-so is doing in hospice. One of my clients who just so happens to be a hospice nurse, would you like me to connect you with her so that this way you can ask her? And now, boom, a little bit of pressure is relieved from her. That makes room for me to step in and help her do a little bit better with her hair, because ultimately that affects my walking billboard. All right, Ms. J. Smith, we have brown highlights, some light blonde streaks. So here's what I would consider doing, Miss J. Smith. If your hair is medium, here's what I would consider doing in the winter, Miss J. Smith, okay? For dark hair that only has blonde highlights, we cater to the majority, right? We always cater to the majority. If you have different textures going on, if you are growing out relaxed or whatever, always cater to the majority, right? So, excuse me. Relaxed hair does need more protein in the winter. I would do a protein focused shampoo, a protein focused conditioner, and a moisture focused leave-in conditioner on one wash day. The next wash day, I would do a moisture focused shampoo, deep condition with a moisture focused conditioner, and then use a protein focused leave-in conditioner. The following wash day, right? Because you should be shampooing and conditioning your hair just about every 7 to 10 days in a month. The following wash day, I would do a moisture-focused shampoo, a protein-focused conditioner, and then what kind of leave-in conditioner would I use? Ms. J. Smith. Ms. J. Smith only. The first wash day, you use protein for your shampoo, conditioner, and then moisture for your leave-in conditioner. The second shampoo, you use moisture for your shampoo. Protein, moisture, and then moisture, deep condition with this moisture, and then add protein. If you are going to be doing protein in your shampoo, moisture in your conditioner, what kind of leave-in conditioner would you use? Ms. J. Smith. Nobody dragging a grown person along. Ms. J. Smith, we waiting for you, baby. It's your time to shine. All right, can we help Ms. J. Smith out? If we have relaxed hair that is also color treated, if you start with protein, move on to moisture for your conditioner, what kind of leave-in conditioner should you use? You can give your answer, and then I'll tell you what I would suggest and why. If you were Ms. J. Smith and you were shampooing and conditioning your hair at home yourself, and you had color treated hair that was also chemically treated, right? So keep in mind that we lose a lot of protein when we do this. There we go, Mo. I would use a protein-focused leave-in conditioner so that this way we reinforce the protein, especially since the wash day before she deep conditioned with moisture. Right, Miss Tiny. That's why I would gear more toward lean more towards protein, Natalie. Okay. because she deep conditioned with moisture the wash day before. Right, because of the double chemical treatment. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. All right. So CBD, consistency, balance, and then diet. Okay. That's the D for your CBD. Consistency, balance, diet. What does diet, how does diet play a part in retaining length? Eating less sugar, eating less carbs, and increasing your protein and increasing your water intake. Miss Rochelle, Miss Monique, excuse me, not Miss Rochelle. Increasing your protein intake and increasing your water intake, Miss Monique, helps create an environment where your hair wants to grow, right? The more trash you feed your body, the harder your body has to fight to get rid of toxins. It's not giving any moisture, any protein, any sebum, any nutritional value to your follicles so that your follicles are stimulated, activated, and want to grow. Okay, the strength builder in the protein that you ingest is essential to making sure your hair is nice and strong, making sure your hair has elasticity or spring in its curl, making sure your hair has shine. Okay, that's how your diet comes into play when we're talking about length retention. Increasing your water intake and ingesting more protein is going to be essential to creating an environment where your hair wants to grow. Eating more vegetables, getting more minerals, getting more vitamins in is going to be essential to creating an environment where your hair wants to grow. And if your hair wants to grow, right? If your hair is rapidly growing, if it's constantly growing, then when you are consistent with your trim schedule, it doesn't really feel like you've lost, right? Because your hair is constantly, is constantly growing. When you are consistent with your trim schedule, when that trim does happen, it doesn't feel like you've lost a lot of length because your hair is constantly growing. Question: what do you recommend that's a good relaxer nowadays? I'm never going to recommend a relaxer, Trina. I'm never I'm never going to recommend a relaxer to anybody that I care about, Trina. If you were my sister, my blood sister, if you were my blood sister and my blood sister lost her mind and asked me what relaxer was a good relaxer that she should use, I'm never going to suggest a relaxer. Not because I'm against what it does to our hair, but I am against what it's proven to do to our body. So I'm against that. So while length isn't an issue, if density is a problem, I would encourage you to make sure that you are consistent with taking collagen supplements so long as your physician suggests. Collagen fattens the hair follicle and allows for hair that is thicker, right? At least gives the illusion that hair is thicker, fuller, right? Making sure that you are not losing as much hair as you possibly can. So protein, if you have been hyper focused on moisture focused shampoos and conditioners and only giving your hair protein in the leave-in conditioner, what should you switch, Mo? If tell me, so then Trina, tell me why you asked that question. Collagen is a great benefit to increasing your hair's, at least the illusion that your hair is more dense. Mo, if you've been hyper focused, because I saw you comment earlier that you're hyper focused on hydration. If you've been hyper focused on your shampoo and conditioner being really hydrating, but you've only been giving your hair protein by way of your leave-in conditioner, what is it time for you to do? Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. Sorry. I asked the question because the women have been asking me that question, and I couldn't give them an answer because I said I don't do it. Is this live? Yes, Barbara. This is live. But we're all on the same page about consistency, balance, and diet, and how that is essential to length retention. Thank you, Mo. Thank you for answering her. Barbara, you're gonna have to watch the replay to get the live, unless one of your classmates wants to put you on. Did we learn something new today? Mo, did you learn something new today? Sweetie, did you learn something new today? Natalie, what you learned? Okay, great. I'm glad this was helpful. I'm glad this was helpful. Okay, now you can and so the guide has both moisture and protein focused products. I'm sorry, moisture, a schedule for when to use moisture and protein. Any of the products that you might be looking for, you can shop at www.texturepress.com. Shampoos, conditioners, leave-in conditioners, protein focused, moisture focused, all there. Is there a preferred spray before pressing? Heat protectant, yes. Oh, Mo, that means a lot coming from you, Mo. I appreciate it. Tariffs, girl, don't be cussing around here. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, boss. If you are not home, get home safe. If you are home, stay safe, and I will talk to you later.